of an answer like that. But how about once you got into the business, who's kind of influenced you going forward? We talked about Lufisto, obviously. She would be a big influence on any female wrestler, I would think. But, for you, maybe people that help train, et cetera, who would you throw out there to people that, if they're looking to get in, who are the people that you would kind of recommend as far as, I don't know, help? Obviously you're one of those people now, but before that.
Me personally, I think a lot of the guys over at NYWC have done a good job steering me in the right and wrong direction, and it's been a little rough just because women's wrestling is its own unique category, and there are obviously experiences I've had and experience that they wouldn't really be able to give me advice on, but they've done a pretty good job with helping advise me in wrestling and kind of knowing what's wrong and right and who to trust. So Stockade is one of those guys, and Bull James. They've been a great help in giving me confidence within the business and just kind of steering me in the right direction.
Can you talk about Chrissy Rivera? She's always the one that I associate most with NYWC. Whether right or wrong, I don't know.
You were correct in that. Unfortunately, I haven't really been able to see her too often over the past few months because she hasn't really been coming around to NYWC. But I have such a huge love for Chrissy Rivera. She's a really spunky girl, woman, not girl, and I admire that because she doesn't take anyone's BS, and she's been in this business for such a long time. So that's also another thing I learned from her, was just kind of don't let people take advantage of you, don't let them step all over you. And she, fortunately enough, is also fond of me, so she's helped me, get places or spoken fondly of me to the right person, and that's helped me. And I'm over at WSU, she's doing this whole stable, which is kind of like the craft, these witchy girls, and it doesn't really fit my group, my who I am, my super bubbly, happy personality. But I think they are doing their stable's awesome. It's so cool. Had I maybe had a different personality, it would have fit me a little bit better. But I think they're really cool. It's a good fit for her. And she also early on was someone who helped steer me in the right direction of what to do and how to kind of behave in a locker room. So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, I kind of figured as much just because of who she is. Okay, so last thing, and I'll let you throw out your social media after that. But the last thing I wanted to ask you is, I kind of like the job interview question, where you expect to be in 5 years. We're not going to say 5 years. Let's say 1 year. Ideally, I'm not talking about, if I had a wish come true, but ideally, and realistically, where do you expect to be in a year from now?
A year from now, I plan on having traveled more across the United States. I definitely want to head out to California and the West Coast, see what's going on over there. But also, I'd really have loved traveling internationally, because I haven't done that yet. So I think within the next year, that's achievable for me to make it to Canada or UK or Japan or something. That again, wish. But I also find it achievable within the next year. So.
Yeah, you're not sitting here saying, I want to be WWE Women's Champion. This is ideal, but also realistic. Yeah, but within a year, we're thinking things like that. Absolutely. Anybody else I talk to, they say international, because it's a big deal to go travel anywhere now. But I think Canada is a really realistic option for you within the next year or so.
Yeah, but I sometimes I get too comfortable on the East Coast, and I'm like, oh, these are audiences that I'm familiar with, and that's cool. But I really want to, reach out to more fans and get to know more people, and not just fans, but wrestlers as well, and kind of learn different styles and pick up a few different things from like, oh, well, this is how things are done over here. The more I can learn about wrestling and the wrestling business, like the more I fall in love with it. So just getting around, learning more, that's what I want to do within the next year.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Well, you came in, you killed it for 30 minutes, and I appreciate that. And I know you've got other things going on. So before you head out, if you can throw out your social media for people to be able to find you, book you, all that good stuff, go for it.
Sure. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the same handle. That is at W_Nightingale_. And that's Nightingale spelt like the bird. On Facebook, you could find me at my name, Willow Nightingale. I have like a friends page where you can add me as your friend, and right now I'm in the middle of building one of those like pages, like me, and I'll post when my shows are and things like that. So Willow Nightingale at W_Nightingale and another underscore, and I do my best to try and talk to all my fans. Sometimes it gets a little overwhelming, so sorry if I don't get back to you guys all soon. But I see your messages. I try to get back to them.
Well, I wish you the most of success in all of your avenues, and I appreciate you coming on and kind of getting people familiar outside of your region, with Willow Nightingale. And I hope to see a lot more of you going forward.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I had a blast.
All right. You take care, okay?
Yes, thank you. You too. Take it easy, guys.
Later on. And everybody, that was Willow Nightingale, the NYWC Starlet champion, I believe for the second time, like she said, and, it's onwards and upwards for her. And she said she has a unique look, but I think it's becoming less unique in a way because, people aren't just getting in the business to be divas anymore, and I know this has been talked about a million times, so I just wanted to throw that out there. I had fun talking to her. Sorry about some of the phone issues. Anybody that goes back and listens to this, hopefully you can still enjoy it. Sometimes it just happens, especially when somebody's on the way to their shoot job. Kind of hard to avoid it. But, yeah, she did her best. She came in after being sick last week. She made her commitment, and she did it. So thank you to Willow Nightingale. In the meantime, you can see the Indie Power Rankings for this week at Indie Power Rankings, IPR.wordpress.com. That's where we put up all of our rankings. The Tag Team Top 5 will be released a little while after this one, or after this show. I give it a little time so everybody can kind of listen to this before they check out the written version of it. As far as the Tag Team Top 50, things are looking really not that much of a change from last week, I'd say, because I don't think any of these teams have consistently been ranked this year other than Scarlett and Graves. So, just, look for them to continue that momentum. But as far as the Indie Power Rankings go, we've had a busy few weeks here. This week in the Indie Power Rankings was insane, especially the singles. So, you'll want to kind of keep track as to who was ranked, where they were ranked, and what's going to happen with them going forward. Phoenix got his second number one ranking this year, and that's a big deal because that really adds to your year-end ranking in the IPR 100. And as far as the Tag Team Top 50, it's all about the ugly ducklings right now. They were on the poll. They got kind of put on late. They didn't get enough votes to really make an impact this week, but we'll see what happens with them going forward. They're still probably the most dominant team on the indies right now. Hooligans had to step aside for them for the time being, but they did wrestle each other over the weekend and went to a no contest there down at FIP. And one of the Hooligans made the joke that, since there was no DQ, the match is still going on. So I would love to see that happen again. I'm sure it probably will happen. But in the meantime, do me a favor if you have not yet. Go over to Facebook.com/IndiePowerRankings. Like our page there. You can follow me on Twitter at PhenomenalTLD. You can follow the Indie Power Rankings on Twitter at Indie Power Ranking. You can buy our T-shirts. We would really appreciate it. It would make us happy. At Indie Power Ranking. let's try it again, ProWrestlingTees.com/IndyPower. See, you get an auto drive sometimes. You don't even think about what you're saying. Instagram @IndyPowerRankings. And you know what? If you have not yet, go listen to the mid-year update on this very network, Spreaker.com, Indy Power Rankings. You just look up Indy Power Rankings on Spreaker. You can find it. You can find all the Indy Power Rankings shows dating back to the mid-year update. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff on there. If you've missed it, go back and listen now. It's one of the quickest ways to find out where everybody kind of sits in the mid-year update. But, yeah, if you had any questions, like I said, you can always email us, indypowerrankings@gmail.com. And that is it for me this week. I had a fun show with Willow. Had to come on a little bit earlier than we usually do. I know you're probably listening to this on demand if you are listening to it. So we actually are recording this at 11 a.m. So it took a lot of work to get it together, but we made it happen. And my thanks again to Willow. And, yeah, make sure everybody kind of follows her to see what happens with her in the future. Because I think she's one of those that she's young. She's got a unique look. Again, maybe it won't be that unique for a while, but I would expect a lot from her going forward. Anyway, if you have any questions, again, @PhenomenalTLD on Twitter. I appreciate it, everyone. Have a great week. Later.